Good afternoon, Brett Redmond, Bad Intentions Boxing. I'm with Carl Greaves, former professional boxer, trainer, boxing promoter, a man that juggles many different hats and currently training David Avanesyan, who was due to fight Josh Kelly on January 30th. Carl, extremely grateful to have you on with us. How are you?
Hiya, Brett. All good, mate. Thank you.
Great to hear from you. Let's jump straight in with it then. January the 30th. Where are we at with David Avanesyan versus Josh Kelly?
Well, obviously, it's been postponed now due to the board sending out the email last week saying that they're suspending all professional boxing in January. So, obviously, in the meantime, that fight's off. But just had a good email today off the board saying that they're going to let professional boxing continue in February, middle of February. So, we're just waiting on a rescheduled date now for that fight. But I'm pretty hopeful it's going to be in February, middle of February time. Been told it could be February the 20th, so fingers crossed that it's going to happen finally. I mean, as we know, it's been 3 times now that fight's off, so hopefully 4th time lucky this time.
Have you had any communication within the last few days regarding that from Matchroom or anybody associated with Matchroom?
Yeah, well, I'm just David's trainer, so obviously Neil Marsh is his manager. So me and Neil, we just commune between ourselves. So yeah, Neil's been filling me in, keeping me informed, and he said, yeah, it's looking like February the 20th, hopefully. We're just waiting on it being 100% concrete, but yeah, we're really hopeful it's going to be February the 20th.
And where does that leave David at the moment? I'm sure David's in a state as to where he actually thinks this fight or the wheels are against him, something that never seems to want to happen. Is it fair to say that we're finally at that last hurdle where actually this is the last thing, fingers crossed, that we're going to be able to overcome before David gets in there with Josh?
Yeah, I mean, David's back in Russia at the moment. He went back on Wednesday. He crossed over in Dubai, had a couple of days there. And now he's back in the gym this morning in Russia. He's back over in England on Friday, so he's having a week with his family in Russia, and obviously back training today. So we start again on Monday. So then it gives us 5 weeks to get ready for this fight again. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of time we've been putting into this fight. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's the 4th camp this will be. Well. So the hours we've put in and the weeks we've put in preparation for this one fight, it's unbelievable.
And where is David at mentally at the moment regarding this?
He's a very strong character. I mean, he's had ups and downs all his career. This time he's just getting used to it now. But he really wants to. He was angry, to be honest with you, this time, because you've got to realise he's from Russia. He come over here all Christmas, New Year training. We've trained every day other than Christmas Day. So he was very, very angry. He's been away from his family. I know Russia's got a different Christmas date and they don't celebrate it like us. But, I mean, January the 6th, I think they celebrate their Christmas. But even so, it's just been very hard for him and difficult. And really thought this was going to happen on January the 30th. We couldn't see no stumbling blocks. And then, obviously, once the COVID started getting worse, the infection rate was going up through the roof. I was starting to think to myself, you know what, this fight's not going to happen on the 30th of January. And then we got the dreaded email from the board. So, you know what I mean? It's not very good for him. He was very angry, but listen, he knows the situation and it's nobody's fault other than the world we're in at the moment.
And I think would it be fair to say, and I'll lead you to answer this one for me, Carl, but actually is this fueling that fire every single time one of these situations or this scenario comes, that actually this is giving David that little bit more of energy that he needs for this potential fight?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, David don't need anything to fuel his fire, really. He's a determined lad. He's very, very dedicated, very, very disciplined. Always good around the weight, so I've got no worries, concerns like that. I mean, he's angry though, because the worst thing is this fight should have happened in 2018. This fight should have been put to bed a long, long time ago, and we should be moving on now. Hopefully, we would have had a good win that night, beat Josh Kelly, and moved on. I mean, luckily we had Neil worked his magic last year and got him a European title fight against Kermel Jaraga, and we had a fantastic year last year, 3 back-to-back wins. All in Spain. So luckily we've been on the roll really, but let's be honest, we should have been pushing on now. I mean, we should have probably got the Josh Kelly fight out of the way, probably 3 or 4 months after he'd won the European title, and then we could be pushing on this year for a world title. So, yeah, it's backwards and forwards, but hopefully this fight will finally happen, because I know everybody wants to see it. It's a massive fight, but people's getting sick and tired of the postponements, and it's looking a bit daft now, but hopefully we can finally get this fight on.
So mid-February now, potentially, we're looking at as to when that fight happens. Mid-February comes, David Avanesyan. I think it's fair to say there's a big split down the middle between a lot of pros and a lot of people in the game. A lot of people are saying David, a lot of people are saying Josh. Let's say that David stops or gets the result mid-February. What's next for David following that?
Listen, it's got to be at least a world title eliminator or a world title. I mean, he's 32 now, he's at the peak of his career. He had a fantastic year last year, like I keep going on about, and obviously beating Josh Kelly, who's, you know what I mean, who's a rising star, let's be honest. He's a good fighter, top amateur, great pedigree, former Olympian, got all the skills you need really, but has he got that hunger and desire that David's got? Has he got that strength as a professional? Has he got that man strength and the will to win? Does he want it as much as David? I don't think he does. He's got more skill than David, I'm not going to deny that, but he won't want this. He's not hungry enough. He's not hungry enough, man like David is, to win this fight, and strong enough to keep him off. So get his fight out of the way, hopefully a good win, and we can move on for a world title, another world title. People forget that David's been a world champion. He won the interim world title, defending against Sugar Shane Mosley. What a great name to have on your record. And then he got upgraded to regular world champion when Keith Thurman vacated, and he fought Lamont Peterson as a champion and got beat. Was an under par performance, but I mean, everybody knows how good Lamont Peterson is. He's a very, very good fighter. Been a world champion a couple of times, so no disgrace in that. So yeah, we're ready for another world title fight.
So, you know, as you referenced there, David's definitely been in with what we'd call some of the elite level fighters that perhaps we could argue on the case that Josh Kelly hasn't been. For David then, pushing on, if there's the potential for that world title fight, would that be under Matchroom, or what's that current promotional structure with Matchroom?
Yeah, we've done a free fight deal with Matchroom. Neil and Eddie's spoken, and once Josh Kelly got made manager for the European title, obviously it was a logical thing for Eddie to give David a deal. Obviously he's going to go in with the winner and come out with the winner, a bit like Don King used to back in the day. So yeah, he's got David under contract now, and obviously if David wins, hopefully Matchroom and Eddie will get behind him, along with Neil, his manager, and obviously push him on for a world title fight. So let's just see what happens, but there's no reason why David can't challenge for another world title this year.
And the potential with that comes, would you have any concerns about putting in him, again, as we mentioned earlier, boxers and calibers with the likes of people that would have been on par with Lamont Peterson? Have you got any concerns about putting him in within an elite level fighter?
Definitely not. I mean, listen, David's a lot better fighter than it was when he boxed Lamont Peterson, I can assure you that. And obviously he had that bad patch with Lamont and Kowalowskis when he lost to him as well over in America. So he's a different fighter now. He's a different animal. His confidence has gone through the roof since last year. Obviously, the big year he had, and his confidence is sky high at the moment. And I've seen it in the gym. I've seen him performing, and I know how strong he is, and I know how tough it will be to keep someone like David off for 12 rounds. I mean, you've got to remember that Josh has never done 12 rounds. He's only ever done 10. And looking at his last 3 performances, he's not looked great, Josh, in my opinion. He's struggled, he's laboured at times, he's not been able to hurt the guys, and they've just been blown up like vultures. At least 2 of them have. I mean, the Ray Robinson one, I mean, you've got to give him a bit of credit for that, because Ray Robinson actually did get a draw with Kowalowskis, who stopped David. So on paper, that's a decent name for Josh to have on his record. But you got to remember that obviously Ray Robinson's a bit of a stepping stone sort of fighter now for the likes of for Josh Kelly. So he should have been beating him, and he struggled, and he was lucky to get the decision, in my opinion. But he is a good fighter, Ray Robinson. I'm not taking that away from him. That's probably the best name that Kelly's got on his record.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to say that was a tough fight, and a tough fight out in America for Josh Kelly. And take nothing away from him. He got a draw against what was a tough opponent who's been in there with some good level fighters. So let's take nothing away from him on that perspective. So moving forward, the fight, it's safe to say that we're on the dawn of that. It's not too far away from us now. Can we expect any more fireworks at the press conference?
Yeah, I would say so. Listen, Neil's had his say. I mean, obviously, we know what happened at the last press conference with Neil and Adam Booth. Neil got it off his chest. It was irritating him what had happened. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, but people don't know. There's a lot of snidey, slippery ways going on. But anyway, Neil got it off his chest. He said what he had to say. Listen, we're just happy now to get this fight on. I mean, there won't be unless obviously things change, which I can't see, there won't be no press conference anyway. So it'll just be face to face at the weigh-in, and that's it. Hopefully, we can get it on and get it put to bed, this fight, because I mean it's dragging on and on and on. It's been 2 years now, 2.5 years, and we need to move on now.
The excitement's there, and it's definitely bubbling, and I think the further this has gone on, it's just becoming a foregone conclusion. Me, myself, as a boxing fan, I can't wait to see the fight, and it will definitely be one that I'll tune in. Last words on that, have you got anything to say to the fans that are tuning in to watch that fight?
No, I think they're all excited about it. It's a great fight. It's a clash of styles. I mean, the question marks is, can Josh keep David off for 12 rounds? Can he outbox him? I don't think he can, unless he shows me something different to what he has done in the last few fights. Or does David get to him, grind him down and beat him up and stop him? I think that's the favourite, in my opinion, what's going to happen. I mean, I've seen David, I'm with him nearly every day, and the man's just got such strength and he's formidable. Once he gets inside of you, he hurts you badly. And obviously been working on a lot of things. I mean, I hope they're not just going to expect him to go crash bang wallop straight into his face, because we've been working on a lot of things, and we might change things up a lot that they're not going to be expecting. But all in all, can Josh keep David off for 12 rounds? I don't think he can.
Absolutely brilliant. I'm extremely grateful, as everybody else will be, for that insight. And it's definitely something, as we say, that's teetering on the edge of us fans, and the excitement's there, is bubbling. As I say, so all of the best to you and David. And we're really looking forward to tuning in mid-February. Before we finish, I've got to do something with you. If you're happy to do it, we do it with everybody else. It's going to be 3 questions. Now, for those who are watching and those who don't know, we've already done this before, so I don't think it'd be fair to do the same questions. So I'm just going to switch them up a little bit, if you're happy with that, Carl.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Will David stop Josh Kelly?
Yes.
Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Who wins?
Tyson Fury.
Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren?
I'm split. I've had personal dealings. I've had more with Eddie, but I've obviously had a lot more work off Frank over the years as a fighter and obviously as a manager and trainer, and both good guys in my opinion. I've not had nothing bad to say against them both. So yeah, I mean, you treat them how you get threatened, and to be honest with you, they're both good guys.
Absolutely fantastic. Carl, I'm extremely grateful. I'm Brett Redmond. This is 12 Rounds of Boxing. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Tune in mid-February, because this fight is going to be an absolute banger, and I would not want any of you to miss it. Thanks very much, guys.